Hello, everybody. How are you? Thank you, everyone, for coming. This is our first Canadian real bodybuilding podcast we've done live, and it's fitting because we're all Canadian except for Guy. So,
that is true.
All right?
I'm the odd man out here.
You're the odd man out here. All right, we're just going to roll with it. We're going to talk for a little bit. We're going to have a guest come out kind of halfway through, and then we're going to open up to Q&A and see what you guys have to say. So, Melissa, it's your first time with us.
I'm fucking terrified.
I had a pressing question I've been thinking about for like a week.
Oh, no.
How does it feel to be married to the only gay guy on the podcast?
Oddly satisfying.
Great answer, great answer.
Are you ever worried a little bit?
No.
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 It doesn't, you're not like at all like...
He said to me the other day, he was like, I think it's a real thing that people might think that I'm gay. And I was shocked. I was like, why? That's impossible.
Have you heard him on the podcast?
Well, yeah, but like, he's just being a goof.
And this is also how I talk like in our day-to-day life.
He's just nuts, I feel. Like, he loves reactions, and he's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, but he's very, very defending of the gay people, which is
but
okay.
he's also very...
Gay?
Into men.
into
Men.
vagina. So I don't I just go by my personal experience, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that
Clears that up.
Paul,
Starting off with a bang.
but he can be into both.
Maybe, but I
Do you worry that he could be into both?
that doesn't
Have you
affect
ever
me.
seen anything in his search history? That would be worrisome. that would be worrisome.
To be completely honest, I've never seen any search history, so I would not know.
Not even by accident, like you typed something in and like a list
No.
came up.
Then we got the guy coming out later. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll ask him. Yeah, we'll ask Kevin. Yeah, we'll get him to
that?
read. We'll get him to read Ian's mind.
Mentalism.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a question
Oh,
for
that's
Kevin.
gonna be good.
Are you scared?
Yeah.
Has Ian ever?
The gloves, the gloves are coming off here.
shit. It's all coming out now.
Yeah. So we were talking about. We all went to eat yesterday. We went with Paul. The group of us went to go eat. Paul was with us, and Guy happened to notice Paul's eating habits are a little different than the norm. Guy, can you explain to, because Melissa doesn't know, because she wasn't with us last night, so she was like, why are they teasing him? What is wrong with Paul? Guy, can you tell Melissa what you witnessed last night?
Yeah, like if you were to take a dog and starve it for like a month and then put a bowl of food in front of the dog and just cut the leash and watch the dog run to the bowl and eat, that's Paul eating anything. And it doesn't matter.
Mike, you got to see
And
it.
it's violent
It's
too.
amazing.
He like took the sandwich, dipped it, and it's not like he dipped it and then it was just like, it's like he rams his face into it.
I don't want to get into the
Pure violence.
I don't want the juice to drip on my shirt. That's why.
No.
It's strategy.
Wait.
Yeah, what kind of juice?
Yeah.
Wait
my
a
wife
minute.
will attest to it. I spill everything on my shirt.
This is his excuse for everything. So in my car, he would one bite like an entire muffin. And I'm like, why do you do that? Just take a bite. Like, why are you stuffing your... He's like, I don't want to make crumbs. That's his reason.
Paul, that's not the truth.
It is actually. I'm a messy
and
eater.
And then he's sitting there like this, chewing.
Because there's too much in his fucking mouth.
Yeah, because
That happens frequently.
because when the velocity of speed in which he throws it into his mouth, he gets it so far into his throat that by the time he closes his teeth, he's got such a
fucking
mouthful
snake.
of food.
Like a snake, yeah. Yeah, they just digest it later. I do have poor eating habits. I know that. I'm trying to fix them. It's kind of late in life.
You're 50
Can't
years
go back
old.
now?
I know. I can't break these habits now.
1 foot in a banana peel, 1 in a casket. You're not switching anything.
My youngest daughter had picked up my habits a lot, so I'm trying to reverse those now. It's been a bad influence on her.
So listen, this is the Real Bodybuilding Podcast. After all, we do talk some bodybuilding. Melissa, how do you feel about, I know you're not competing anymore, and Ian is in the prime of his career. How is that? Is it affecting you in a good way, a bad way? Do you feel good stepping out and just letting him do his thing, or?
I don't think it would have been as easy to step away if he wasn't in the prime of his career, because I mean, I'm stepping away from me being on stage, but I still feel like so much of my life gets to be bodybuilding, you know, with Christopher, like same with Courtney, Iain, it's making it easier. There's also like a lot that goes into being Ian's wife, to be honest. Like, I don't know, what?
Aside from the search history. You mean cooking?
From hiding that I'm gay for your
No,
whole life.
not cooking, and like that's monotonous. You could do that at any point, but there's a lot of
What is that? What do
like mental tenacity, I think, to like deal with the pressure that comes along with competing at this level. And for me to keep a level head, it's a lot more easy and natural if I'm not doing the same, if that makes sense. And to be very clear, that had nothing to do with my decision to step away from the stage. Me doing that was for me and only me, but there's a lot of benefits that are coming from me making that decision for myself.
You said if he wasn't in the prime of his career, it would have been harder for you to step away. Can you explain that?
So let's say Iain had been retired,
Yeah.
and I was the only one that was still competing, and we were traveling to shows because I was competing, and we were meeting all these people and doing all these amazing things because I was competing. By me stepping away from the stage, we would lose all of that. Whereas now I still get to do so much of that stuff that means a lot to me, and honestly, being his supporter and partner is way more fulfilling than my career on the stage ever was. So
That's really like refreshing to hear, like at this day and age, because this day and age, most couples and most people, not just couples, are very like individualistic. They're like, what's my benefit? What's my role? What do I? And it almost seems like you're being selfless in that it's making you happy, but you're also like happy that you can be there for him.
yeah, I think like I'm just gonna speak from like the female perspective. There's been a lot of pressure in my 20s to kind of be independent, to not like strive to be a stay-at-home mom or be someone that takes care of her husband, because there's more, I don't know, recognition in like having a career or making your own money. Or I mean, you hear people say like, have your own bank account in case your husband chooses to leave you, and like all these things. Like that's what we grew up hearing. And if I'm to actually like shut out all that noise and do what I want and what fulfills me and makes me happiest, it is like serving my husband. So
Sorry guys, and I don't mean to like direct all the questions at you, but we don't usually have a woman on the podcast, so it's kind of like nice to hear the other side of the other side of the conversation. So you are okay, do you think a lot of girls or a lot of women nowadays are doing things because they think it's what they hear and the noise they're hearing makes them go that way, instead of doing what you said, which is, it's what makes me happy, so I want to do this. And I'm shutting out the noise.
I think there's a lot of factors. I think there's probably women that feel fulfilled having careers, and that's fantastic. I think there's probably women that have partners where they feel like they have to have careers. I also have a husband that is very appreciative and recognizes my value, so I don't feel like I have to get it elsewhere. Does that make sense? I think sometimes if you're with someone that doesn't see you, you're gonna feel the need to get, you know, validation, recognition, not in a negative way, but through your career, through friendships, whatever. And I just don't have like a lack there. So I'm able to, I mean, it's a huge privilege to really be able to do whatever you want.
Iain, you seem to have a good way of keeping your wife happy and having a long-term relationship. Can you please help Guy a little bit, because
He's helpless.
he's been
What happened to Starbucks, girl?
You better cut me some fucking slack up here after what I went through.
Guy's been searching and has had bad luck, but I think it's maybe his own doing. He seems to be the common denominator. So what advice can you impart on Guy Cisternino?
Yeah, Iain, please give me your fucking advice. I'm dying to hear
This is years of therapy that guy's gonna need for this one. I think not Ian's advice.
Give me your number.
But Guy's just
give
a
me your
very
therapist number.
I think all of us know Guy's a very particular human. You know, he, especially you know, having been single for a while, he's someone that is very in his ways. You know, has his routine, has the ways he operates, and if things don't quite conform to that, it's like, fuck that shit, I'm out of it. You know.
So Iain is basically saying he learned how to settle, and you need to learn how to settle.
That's not true.
I'm joking.
Yes.
I think what he's saying is you should learn to be a little flexible,
Flexibility, yes.
Flexible.
like a wood board. You're not flexible.
Wood boards are flexible.
So what? So you're with Nicole, AKA the barista, AKA
Starbucks
the
girl.
Starbucks girl. It's been 3 months,
I think 5.
5 months. That's like the most serious relationship you've had in a while.
No, the last one lasted 5 and then it stopped.
The last one was 5 months, and
Yeah,
then
but she was 25. That
abruptly ended.
was a nightmare waiting to happen.
So this one's 5 months, but you're happy.
Yeah.
But there's some
Well, she's got 2 kids.
difficulties.
Having 2 kids is not easy to navigate sometimes.
Melissa, can you help him with that?
Jesus Christ. It's like
Okay,
a fucking,
to be honest,
it's like a
that's a-
character assassination on stage.
That's a really big thing. I'm on Guy's side here.
2
What's
kids
that?
is hard. It's hard because you can't just like,
I
it's
didn't
not
say it
like
was
come
easy.
over, did the come over and stay over shit like doesn't happen
Yeah.
because you have 2 kids.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's certain things that are not there that I'm picky. Like I want certain things and if I don't get them, I'm like, whatever, fuck it.
So why are you dating her then? You're wasting your time, no?
You know, it is because but I also, no, this is where you're not flexible, guy. I have to be somewhat flexible at 40 because at 40, people come with things at 40 that I have to expect, whether it's they were divorced or they have kids or they have, so it's like I'm trying to be fucking.
So you're trying to be flexible.
Trying to be flexible.
You're trying to be
Yeah,
flexible.
but shit's breaking.
Yeah. I see. So what are what are you gonna do?
What?
What are you gonna do?
You want me to get married or break up right now on the podcast?
I think people want to know, like, how are you gonna make it work? Like,
I'm just letting the wind catch the sail and go.
yeah.
We actually flew Starbucks girl here.
What?
Starbucks girl's backstage right now.
Let's bring her out.
I feel like I'm on a Maury show.
It's not a magician coming out, man.
I feel like Fouad's about to be like, well, Guy, next guest we have. Fucking comes out of the curtain.
Turning fucking Maury Povich here.
Paul, you've been married for
8 years.
15,
Well, I've been with my wife for 15 almost, but
15
married for-
years. How are you so successful in your marriage?
Well, there's it's work, Fouad, but when you marry the right woman, you know, and then it's not so much work.
Things have gone downhill since those tiles.
I think, is Tony here anywhere?
She's right there in the second row. Hi, babe.
Paul, I don't think your first words should have been like, it's a lot of work, but I make it happen.
I didn't mean work as in like hard, like bad work.
I know
It's
what
just
you meant.
We have kids.
Was your first date? You guys didn't happen to go out to eat, did you?
Our
Because there's no
first
way
date-
she saw you eat and was like, "She's the one."
No, but I
After what I saw last night, I would have ran out the fucking door.
Our first date, I
think
showed
Paul's
up.
right. I think Paul's right. I mean, like, and you know, when he's saying it's work, like, I think a lot of people nowadays, especially, look for simplicity and easiness, especially with new relationships. You know, they'll look like, oh, it feels like it's too much work, or right off the go, it's like it shouldn't be this hard, or it shouldn't be this easy, or it should be easy. You know, and I don't think that's necessarily reality when you're talking about the success of long-term relationships. I mean, any of us, you know, Melissa and I know, Paul. I mean, you know, anyone that's been in long-term relationships like that know that a significant amount of effort is required to keep things working. I mean, you know, there's lots of compromise, there's lots of, you know, adjusting things, you know, in your lives to kind of make everything work together. And, you know, effort is definitely needs to be there, or it's certainly not going to work, you know?
Well, I was a bachelor for like 10 years before I met my wife. So I was used to that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And
You were when I remember that time. You were like Guy.
I would break up with
You
everybody.
had very zero, like
How
very little,
dare you.
very little flexibility.
no
Because he had
flexibility.
lived alone for so long that he was like, I can't change for anybody.
Yeah.
And
I was
then,
about as flexible as Paul's calves.
well, that's actually the main question I want to ask you is, do you forgive your wife for putting tile in the kitchen and ruining your feet?
Well,
Bad case of tile
So
foot.
you can't get away. You
I
can't get away
suffered
from her
3
now.
calf tears, a reoccurring callus on my foot that keeps coming back from these tile floors. So I love my wife. I just want her to change those floors one day, I'm hoping. She loves the floors, though. I don't think she's going to budge. They are beautiful floors, babe. I'll give you
What do
that.
you think, Tony? Can we get new tiles? Yeah, my feet are fine. I told them.
They're larger tiles than Fouad's.
Wait,
Fouad's
hold
are
on.
smaller.
How tall are you?
5'9",
And what size is your shoe?
11. No, 12.
Paul, how tall are you?
About 5'8",
And how big's your foot?
13.
There's the problem. Fucking platypus feet can't keep up with your calves.
A big nose, big feet, big hands.
Get the fuck out of here.
Mike, I keep asking you, but we don't ever get a direct answer. But I know you've been with your girlfriend for a long time.
She's right over there. The pink.
Hi. Look at her hiding. Look at her hiding.
Get the spotlight.
You seem very always chill. I know you have another side to you, but you seem very chill all the time. Do you guys have? Is it work for you, or are you guys just smooth sailing?
No, like any relationship, we have
The microphone.
like any relationship, we have our ups and downs, but we get along well. She's super supportive of me and kind of has the dynamic these guys have with their very supportive. She's very supportive of the stuff that's recently started happening with me. So I told her the other day, it's when people I've been with in the past, I don't know if you guys have been with people and you'll say an idea or a thought and they shoot it down instantly. I should never shot an idea down. I don't mean that in some perverted way. This chat wants to go to sometimes.
Yeah.
But just any type of chat, any type of idea I might have, I want to do this or make a video about that. Or she's like, yeah, do it. Yeah, do it. But,
So when you say she's been very supportive of the stuff that's happened recently, you mean your new kind of social media popularity and your business?
Yeah, also me transitioning from doing bodyguard work, and she was kind of seeing me near the tail end of that, where it was seeing how just it wasn't what I wanted to be doing, just not because of who I was doing it for, just my mindset was changing and I wanted to get out of that, right? So she was very supportive of that transition, and once I started doing what I'm doing now, it was just she was like, yeah, why haven't you been doing this?
Was she? How long were you bodyguarding while she was with while you were together?
2 years.
Did you travel? Did you travel a lot?
Yeah.
Was she okay? How did that work for you guys? With you traveling and bodyguarding and all that?
I mean, that was also a reason why I knew that she was someone I wanted to be with, because she could actually handle it and she understood it was my job, right? So a lot of women could probably say they can handle that, but when you're gone for 2 months at a time and you're on tour going all over the world and dealing with what I'm dealing with, it's they're sitting there alone, right? So I think so. It was kind of like COVID hit, and it was just, that was the first chance I had to be home for a concentrated amount of time for a while, and that's kind of when my mind just was okay, I'm not going back to that shit, because I'd rather be here, right? So
she's been very supportive in the businesses and all that.
yeah.
Mike, you've been doing the podcast with Iain now for 2 months, maybe 3 months? You didn't know Iain very well before the podcast, right?
I didn't know him at all, no.
What do you think of Iain now after working with him for 2 or 3 months?
He's a horrible guy.
Where the fuck are you going? Where are you going with this? He's asking if you think I'm gay or not.
Well, yeah, but I still like it. It's fucking... No, he's a good dude. I mean, I had, me and you talked on the first time we talked, and you were you were under the impression I didn't like you.
Yeah.
And I was I don't know where that came. I have an idea where that came from. We won't talk about that, but it's just you have these preconceived notions about people. I had no notion about Iain, and I thought he was a great bodybuilder. I told him the first time I saw him was in Montreal. Was it Montreal?
Yeah, 2013.
Yeah, when Jerome got his pro card, and I saw Iain from behind, and I was like, who the fuck is that dude? I'm and I told Jerome, this guy better not be competing tomorrow. You're fucked, man. There's no way you're beating that. But yeah, he's been cool as shit. Everyone's been really cool. I've known Guy for a long time too, so Paul's all right.
Paul's
Tolerate me.
Paul's your favorite though.
Oh, for sure. Paul. I already told his wife off about the tiles earlier.
Yeah.
Pulled her to the side.
Yeah. We'll be talking about that later.
Just so you guys know, every time the podcast rolls around, Mike says to me, "Is Paul going to be on? Is Paul going to?" That's the go-to.
Oh, thank you, Mike. That means a lot to me.
What am I, chop liver?
Oh, yeah,
You know it's always going to be a feel-good podcast when Paul's on it, though, for sure. When you go, you could be having a shitty day and you go on there and Paul says some fucking derp-ass answer and you just can't help but, just laugh at him being the any man guy, you know?
usually
he always
break down there,
gets
yeah.
it and it's so funny. Yeah.
How do you do it, Paul?
Do what?
How are you everybody's favorite?
I don't know, Fouad.
Do what?
Why do you like me?
Do what? That's how.
Why do you like me? Huh? Why do you like me?
No ego,
Sorry?
zero ego,
Zero ego?
zero ego. You have
I could
zero.
probably use
Yeah,
a
but
little bit of that.
we determined last night that he lies a
They're not
little
lies.
bit.
He does
They're
lie a lot.
exaggerations.
He does
They're
lie a
not
lot.
lies.
Yeah, but exaggeration is a
He does
form
lie-
of...
he lies a lot.
Exaggeration is just the nice word to say you're lying a little bit.
Lying is when you make something up. I just stretch it a little
That's
bit.
not
to make
true.
it
That's
exciting.
not true.
It is
That's
true.
not true. Lying is
Tell me
not just
one-
stretching.
tell me one full lie I've told you.
What?
Tell me one full lie that I've told you.
I didn't say...
There's always something truth about it.
What was it last night? It was about the number. What was it last night? It was about the number of something. You're like, it's not that many.
So Paul was telling Guy about the number of competitors we've had at the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he said,
Stop.
yeah. He said,
Put the mic down.
he said, yeah, we had like 300 competitors for the first number of years. And I'm like,
Close to 300.
I was there.
You
I think
stop. That's not stop. See, you're doing it again. Stop.
Just peppers it in a little bit.
I think we did 250 one year, and the rest were lower. And Paul told Guy it was 300 for like 5 years straight. So it's this. It's
then-
it's not a full lie. It's like he said. It's just a stretch.
Yeah, well,
But
Guy,
he said, well, that's close. And I'm like, no.
It's not even close.
250, even if it was 260, you did about 250. You rounded just fucking completely up.
I round up. I
to
do round up, yeah.
But it's not like it's 115, it's 120. It's like, it's 115, it's 145. You don't round up like that. You're rounding up dramatically.
Yeah. Well, I round up to the nearest
which
hundredth.
The exaggeration is so bad it turned into a lie.
Again, I don't see that as a lie, Guy. I see that more. I was trying to impress Guy, yes. So I took the truth and I just stretched it a little. Like I think our highest was like 250 maybe.
Is this what you tell your daughters?
Well, as they get older, they'll hear more of these stories. Right now, they don't hear my stories too much.
Tony, is the hands and feet thing true?
Thanks, babe.
Paul says the hands and feet thing mean everything for a guy.
Appendages.
What does that mean?
I'll leave it up to the
Did you ever lie about your age?
We looked it up.
Did you ever lie about your age?
No, I don't lie about my age.
Never.
I did to my wife when I first met her. I shaved 2 years off.
I lied about. What did he say?
When I met my wife, I lied
So
about my
wait,
age.
your whole relationship started on a lie?
Yeah, we started our relationship based on a lie. It was just a slight exaggeration. Again,
See, so-
I was 37. I told her I was 35.
So wait, on somebody's gravestone, if it says they died in 2018, but they died in 2020, that's just an exaggeration?
It worked, right? I got her.
Wait a minute. I didn't know this. You told her you were 35?
Yeah, I never told you this before, Fouad?
No.
Yeah, when I first met her, I told
And
her
you
I
were
was 35.
38?
37 or 38.
That's not that bad.
I know.
Lying
right? That's not
again.
that bad.
He was
You're lying
40.
again. You were definitely 38.
How old was I, babe? 37 or 38? Right. Okay. So
He lied again. He lied again.
I forgot.
He lied. He just lied to you. He said he was 34. He told us he was 35. He just.
Why did you say it was 13 years ago?
You need medication. It's a you have a fucking problem.
All right. Can we go back? How do you do it? I need to know what your secret is.
I get baked a lot.
You're stoned all the time. That's why.
Yeah.
Melissa, you're good at breaking people down. What do you think Paul's secret is?
You mean my lies?
Give
Or
him
my,
an
sorry, my
analysis. Not your
exaggerations?
lie.
Psychoanalyze Paul for us.
Not your lies.
My exaggerations.
No, just stop talking.
So
Why-
you're saying, why do people like him?
Why is everybody love Paul?
I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head with the ego thing.
Right?
Yes, and
Yeah.
he's a very, very caring person. He's extremely relatable.
Look at his face.
Keep going.
I'm getting an ego now.
He's soaking it up.
I'm growing one now.
Tell me more.
No, but even when you said, I feel like you don't have an ego, and Paul said, I think I need more of it. Like, that's...
Wait, you said you think you need
He
more
did.
ego?
I probably could benefit from a bit
Why
of an ego.
did you say that, though? Like, why do you think that?
I don't have confidence in myself enough.
I know why you're saying that.
Why?
Because you tore your calf walking on tile?
That didn't give me any more
Paul
confidence.
sometimes will not speak his mind to be the diplomatic one.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe why me and him are such close friends, because I'm the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like sometimes I speak my mind too much instead of being diplomatic. So we kind of like the yin and yang kind of thing.
Do you feel like you end up, like, bossing him around, though?
No, because he'll tell me to fuck off.
Okay, so he will.
Fouad's
Yeah,
one
he's
person
not
I
a-
will-
he's
Fouad's
not
one
a-
person I will tell to fuck off.
Okay.
He's not a child. He's
No,
just-
sorry, I'm not
No,
trying
no,
to
it's
offend
okay,
you.
yeah.
You literally said he won't, like, speak up for
no,
himself.
I don't mean with me. I mean like, I don't know whether it be.
I'll avoid confrontation a lot.
Yeah, like confrontation with other people. I think we're so
You're
comfortable.
comfortable. You love each other.
Yeah, we're comfortable enough that he can be like, hey man, I don't like that, or
Well, people
whatever.
that I'm comfortable with,
Yeah.
I get into more, what do you want to call it? Like, not arguments, but disagreements maybe.
Truth, honesty.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. The people I don't know, yeah, I tend to avoid confrontation with.
Okay.
But plus, I'm conscious of it too. Like, I know he won't say anything, sometimes even if it bothers him, so I won't go too far.
Yeah.
Because I'm conscious that he might not tell me even if he is
Yeah.
upset.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Like what?
Huh?
Like what?
Well, I said to you last night, we were joking around at dinner, and then we left, and I said to the guy, I said, you think we fucking pick on Paul too much? 'Cause
I don't care.
And what did I say?
And he said,
No.
no, I don't think Paul cares.
No, I don't care.
But I was like thinking of it for you.
Oh, I appreciate that, Fouad, but no, I'm good. I got thick's good.
Can you, wait,
See, that's it right there. He just, I appreciate it.
Don't,
It's those
don't you
little-
think he's like
it's-
Courtney, though?
Yeah.
wait,
very-
explain.
Yeah.
Explain to them about me ordering my food last night because that fucking killed me. About how you broke down what I ordered versus what he ordered versus
So Paul-
Who
versus
accuses
the
me?
order in which we ordered, why he ordered what he ordered.
So Paul ordered a Philly beef dip, right?
I need some calories. I was
Yeah,
hungry.
Paul ordered a...
He's going to justify fucking everything. Shut up.
He ordered a Philly beef dip, and the waiter is going around the circle, and he gets to Guy, and Guy ordered, and you know, Paul respects Guy as a professional bodybuilder, obviously, so he gets to Guy, and Guy orders Caesar with a chicken breast,
Just salad and chicken.
just a salad with a chicken breast on top or something like that. So all I see is, and Paul's sitting next to me, and I'm kind of like listening a little bit, and he's like, Guy, that's all you're gonna eat? And Guy's like, yeah, this is how I eat. And Paul's like, kind of like, you can see the gears turning, like, well, fuck, I ordered this gross shit. And Guy's eating a real bodybuilding meal. That must mean I'm gross, and Guy's more disciplined. So he's like questioning him. He's like, really? That's all you eat all the time? And Guy's like, yeah, this is how I eat. I can see him feeling, he's feeling worse and worse about himself.
I feel like I'm a slob and I have no discipline or something when that happens.
I told Guy, I said, if the waiter would have gone to you first, Paul's order would have been
I
different.
was not going to order a chicken breast and salad anyway. I would order something a little cleaner, but it wasn't going to be a chicken breast and lettuce.
Fouad, do you ever get that food guilt around people with their orders, or no? You don't get that.
No, I don't give a shit. If I'm gonna eat something,
You're just gonna fucking eat it.
Yeah, if I'm gonna eat something gross, I eat something gross. But Paul is very influenced by the other people at the table.
Sure.
Yeah.
So if the waiter would have went to Guy first and ordered the chicken salad, Paul would have ordered something clean because he would have felt guilty about Guy's order.
Yeah, I would have got some carbs with that, but I would have got like chicken and rice probably.
I'm glad I influenced you like that.
Mike, do you care at all?
Not even a little.
Your food discipline days are over.
Whatever I want to eat, I'm going to get. I don't care what other people are eating. So.
Ian, you're never gonna be like reckless.
No, but like how far and few between I do it. If at that point I'm going to eat it, I don't give a fuck what other people are eating.
Are you really conscious of your health?
In what regard? I'm a professional bodybuilder, so that's a hard question to answer.
Well, wait, we all know professional bodybuilding is not the healthiest thing in the world,
course
right?
not, no.
So, I mean, like, let's say when you retire,
Sure.
is your health paramount, or is relaxing first, or
No,
is,
like I want to live as long as I can within the confines of what I've already done to myself through bodybuilding.
So I think that too, right? But putting it in practice and like living that and thinking that are two different things.
Sure.
So like, are you going to be, do you think you'll be, when you're done, do you think you'll be conscious enough to be like, I did this, I want to make sure I can live this long and then actually live that way?
Yeah, and I think, especially, one thing with me is I'm not a foodie by any means. So a post, maybe it'll change after when I'm not so, driven around food as a tool. But like, I don't have any bone in me that wants to like go eat garbage all the time and anything like that. Like for me to downsize and lose that weight after post bodybuilding and definitely, be calorically restricted and stay healthy will not be difficult for me, I don't think. No.
Will you use Ozempic?
No.
Mike, it's working, you were wrong.
Huh?
It's working, you were wrong.
Yeah, we'll see. If you're anything like me, you can fight past that nausea. Keep eating.
He certainly can.
No match for this appetite. Eat anyway.
So Paul, Paul, you're the oldest in the group.
Yep.
Is your health, I don't feel like you ever really like
Well, I had diverticulitis 2 weeks ago.
You did not have diverticulitis to whatever the fuck
I
it's
was
called.
diagnosed with it.
You did not have it.
I had it
The doctor said, I think you might.
based on your symptoms.
It went away like a day later. It doesn't work like that.
Okay. Anyway,
Long battle with
So
diverticulitis.
wait, just so you guys know, I give you a synopsis of Paul's medical health. Paul thinks he had COVID 5 months before COVID was announced.
it was November 2019. I had pneumonia. It doesn't add up that it wasn't COVID.
You had pneumonia. You did not have COVID.
It was exact same symptoms as COVID.
It's called the flu.
I was sick for like 8
This
weeks.
is how
guy.
Paul gets you. Yesterday, he goes like, "Hey, guy, did I tell you I tore my calf?" I was like, "You tore your calf?" He's like, "Yeah. Remember the tile?" I'm like, "It's really torn." He's like, "Yeah, I tore it. It's right here. It's right here." I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, you can kind of see it." Like, and I'm like, "It's really torn." So then, like, after like 30 minutes, we're walking, and he's fucking walking like this. And I'm like, from a fucking tile floor? I'm like, it's that bad? And he's like, yeah. And I go, so you got it like checked out, like it's actually torn? He's like, no, we're not even checked out. I'm like, so you don't know if it's torn? He's like, well, no, but it is. And I'm like, so wait a second.
Well, what else could it be?
You could just be a pussy.
No, I'm not a pussy. I'm tough. I don't know what it is. Every time I take a step,
Self-diagnosed.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is,
WebMD.
it could be pulled. You could have strained
a
it.
pull is a tear.
A pull is a tear.
Yeah, it's a low.
Why
Why don't you
He's
just
right.
get house shoes, Paul?
But a pull, and it's,
get
if you
shoes
pulled
for
your
in the
calf
house.
and you tore your calf, it's great. It's a very big difference. Oh my God.
Paul, you're in compression socks?
These
Wearing
compression
compression
socks.
socks, yeah. Because
I'm gonna get him a pair of Crocs
Let me
for
see.
Christmas.
Let me see your compression socks.
Fluid, these are the best. You got to get a pair of these.
He's ready for a nice flight.
Can you get up and just wait? Are you walking?
You can get compression
wait,
leggings.
Are you
Can you
walking
do a
okay?
walk? Can you
Are
walk?
you walking okay today?
Quick little walk, yeah, sure. I got a limp though.
give us a front relaxed.
This is for protection. It makes my calf feel
No,
much
hold on. You
better.
have to stay like that for the rest of the day.
I gotta stand
with
up.
those pants.
It's a good look for you, Paul.
It's for protection.
It keeps it tight.
But I just don't understand how you think walking on a hard floor tore the calf.
Because I got this callus on my toe from these from these tile floors that
Yeah, so
keeps
put,
coming
like,
back
socks
every couple
on,
of
man.
weeks. I wear socks and slippers. It doesn't
No.
matter. And
Just walk 3 feet. You're soaking wet.
yeah, well, it's a little warm up here with these lights.
And there's no way this could be from training or something else that you
No,
do
I don't think
daily?
so. No, because I get this thing taken off my foot like every couple of months. I go to the foot doctor, she shaves it off, and she agrees with me. It's from the tile floors. So when it comes back, I have to change the way I walk because it gets very painful to step on it. So I change the way I walk, and then it's led to a calf tear because my gait is off now.
But
What
Ian,
does that have to do with the tile floors?
That's what caused the callus on my
No,
foot.
you. Oh, that's
He
the
thinks the
root
tile
of
That's
the
the
problem.
root, Melissa. Exactly.
tile
yeah.
floor-
No, that's the
Yes.
nexus as to your.
No, that's
yeah.
the root. That's
What
the
about
root.
like hardwood floors? Are those okay?
Yeah, 'cause they
we
have
don't have
give.
them though. My wife changed the floors in our kitchen a couple years ago, and that's when the problem started.
That's
all
when
your
the
fault,
callus
Tony.
started.
Yeah, it is. Swear to God.
Stop going to the kitchen in midnight
Cookies
to
at
get cookies.
midnight. I know. That's if I could avoid that, I probably wouldn't have the problem.
wait a second. A pull is a tear, correct?
Yeah, a low degree.
When you hear, oh, I pulled something, you think you can still train it. When you tear something, you're like, oh, you can't train that. True or false?
A pull is a tear, though.
He wants us to team up on Paul here, but I'm not falling for it.
I'm not teaming up, but I wouldn't.
Fucking Ian ruined it.
I wouldn't call a pull a tear. If I tore, when you tore.
Wait a second, we have a-
wait,
we have a guru here.
Hold on. Hold on.
Mike.
When you tore your hamstring, did you say I pulled it or I tore it?
No, but that's a third degree tear. It's different.
Paul.
Paul, you want a fan?
Mike, is a pull a tear?
My boy, Paul.
Thank you, Mike.
Is a pull a tear?
What did Paul say?
That's nice.
Paul said a pull is a tear.
Yeah, it's a little tear.
See?
Okay, a little tear.
Well, I didn't
what I said,
give him
low
that.
degree.
It's still a tear.
Not enough to limp.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
you got to spring off on your toes when you walk.
You
You just
gotta
sit
get
there
him
and hold
those
that fan.
Skechers.
I was gonna sit here like this, yeah.
You gotta get him those Skechers shoes that like round off every time.
Like like iron sheets. Shoes like
That springs him up when he wants.
Just rocks them right out
That
of
was
there.
perfect, actually.
No toe pressure.
Melissa, what do you think of everybody on the podcast? You sit in the background a lot. I know you can hear us on when Ian's on. And sometimes you join in, sometimes you don't, but you've heard all of our conversations. and you analyze a lot. So I'm curious what you think of everybody on the podcast.
That's not putting her on the spot.
I want to put her on the spot.
That's like a massive question. I don't know.
We don't need to like analyze everyone
start
individually.
one by one.
No. Okay.
I mean, you guys as a group is, the group is very like heartwarming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when I come and we're in person together and I see you guys like joke with each other and how much you love each other, but make fun of each other. It like sometimes my like eyes tear up because it's actually so nice. And I think that's why the podcast is so successful. I think there's a lot of ego on the podcast, which is why sometimes I'll be like woken out of a dead sleep from like fucking screaming in the kitchen.
Me and Ian have had a couple wars.
Yeah, I mean, this one too.
Yeah, Ian. Guy went off. Guy went off
fuck
about
the 212.
The 212 class. We all think it should be abolished. Who thinks the 212 class should be abolished? Oh, not too many, Guy. Not too many.
How many? The people that are clapping, clap if you're a pro.
How rude are you?
That's the ego.
Only
That's
clap
the
if
ego.
Your guys' opinions still matter.
Clap if
That's
you
the
want
ego
to
you're
say-
talking about.
Clap if you want to be a real pro, not a 212 pro.
You just demonstrated exactly what she said.
Handicap class.
No, I'm just exaggerating a point.
Okay, but also, despite all that and like the reactions, you guys still can like move on and love each other and see beyond that bullshit. So I think that's why everyone loves it so much. It wouldn't be the same without those arguments. It wouldn't
think-
have the same dynamic.
I think that's the best part. Me and Ian have had, like, you guys don't know this, but there was one podcast, I think, where it was like 4 hours long.
Yeah.
Or 3 hours.
We cut out like 2 full hours.
Yeah, it was like 3 hours and 45 minutes, and I cut like an hour and 15-minute argument out of it.
We had to sit and have like a 10-minute cool down.
Yeah. We actually like
In silence. And Justin's
we
like,
stopped talking.
Okay,
and we were
everybody.
like-
Yeah.
And then even after we were able to finish the podcast, I text him or he texts me. I can't remember who texted who first, but we're like, hey man, I'm really sorry. That got out of hand, blah, blah. And then we just moved on from it.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's cool, like Melissa said, that we're able to like, you know, me and Guy have had arguments. I blocked Paul once from my Instagram.
I didn't know for about 2 months though.
This motherfucker, every time I posted something, he would come on and troll me. I'm like, you're my best friend. Why are you fucking trolling me on my own page?
They were funny though, Fouad.
They were funny. They were
dropped-
funny.
I dropped like a gay or something like that in the comment field for whenever he put like a post.
No,
up.
like listen, I would put like a picture of me and my wife and something like really sweet underneath. And all I'd see is Paul and it would say gay.
Or then I put you're gay on the next one. Or super gay. Yeah.
So I blocked him. But anyway, the point is, I haven't had a chance to have an argument with Mike. I don't think I want to have an argument with Mike, but I've had arguments with everybody here, and it's like, I think that's the best part, is we can argue and just say sorry after and keep shooting the shit. I think a lot of times people argue and it gets really shitty and nasty and
people
you
hold
lose
grudges.
friendships instead of just trying to like understand each other. So, but I do, the thing is, I do recognize the ego thing, right? And I think it's tough with like these personalities because we're all pro bodybuilders at one point. I had our own but I recognize it and I try and take a step back.
I don't think it's as big of a deal as everyone thinks it is, as long as you're able, once you're like chilled out, to recognize what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people can't. Like, the ego is always going to be the loudest voice, and then even after the fight, that's why they won't make up, because they're like, well, I'm still fucking right, fuck you.
I said that to somebody yesterday about someone else. That's the biggest thing. It's like, if your ego is so big that even when you're wrong, you think you're right, or you can't recognize that you might have been wrong, that's the biggest fucking problem. Yeah. That's the biggest fucking problem. It's
Yeah,
like,
no, you'll never have good relationships. It's
Yeah.
impossible to be close with someone that's like that. It's
Yeah.
sad, to be honest.
So we're gonna do like half an hour of questions. I have a runner here, Ryan, is gonna run around and kind of pick up any questions from anybody who has any. So does anybody want to start off the Q&A portion? Right here in the front, Ryan.
Hi, Fouad. Thank you so much. I don't have a question. I just bring a small gift for you. I have been, in my journey, I lost 165 pounds.
Wow.
You are part of my journey. And I'm an Arab. So
hope
I
it's
wrote
drugs.
your name in Arabic calligraphy because, you know, we are Arab.
Come on up. Come on up here, brother. Just come around.
So I just want to...
Give him a round of applause, guys. 160 pounds.
So every time you talk about food, I said, I'm going to come here and motivate you.
Wow. I wish you guys could see this. You guys probably can't tell on the camera, but this is the most insane transformation I've seen. You guys check this out. Look at that. Yeah.
So this is 5 years. I have been watching you for 3 years. You inspire me. RBP. It's motivated me a lot. So that's for you.
Thank
That's your name in Arabic calligraphy.
Is it? Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Man.
you're welcome.
Put your phone down.
Thank you. So I don't have a question. I just want to say, keep what are you doing. You do an amazing job. You motivate us. Like even the bro chat, it's like align with our journey, our life. I started when you talk about like relationships in the future, in the past. The first RBP.
Yeah.
I'm so proud to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thanks
much,
a lot.
man. I appreciate this.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's incredible. Oh, that's fucking nice. Wow. Yeah, we don't, I just want to say quickly, thank you for that, but I don't think we realize sometimes, like, we get these emails from time to time, like all of us get them separately, and I don't think we realize sometimes kind of the impact we're having. So, we really appreciate it when you guys tell us these kind of stories or let us know that, like, if you're having a bad day, we cheer you up or we help you get through tough things like breakups or sicknesses or whatever. So thank you guys for sharing those experiences with us. Is there another question? Nobody?
Don't be shy.
Come on, right here in the front.
What is the craziest prep concoction you've come up with? Say like cucumbers with Splenda, that kind of thing.
Mine was, I tried to make like meatloaf with oatmeal and ground beef in the oven, and it was disgusting.
I did an entire prep where all I ate was white fish, and I baked natural peanut butter on it, and that's all I ate every meal.
Peanut butter and white fish.
Yeah. And
So-
I would bake the peanut butter onto the fish.
Oh,
Yeah.
would it like crustify?
Kind of like crust a little bit, yeah.
Oh, I
That's
kind of
all
like.
ate.
That's actually sounds good though.
Yeah.
No, I made oatmeal, and then I made ground beef, and then I put both in like a muffin, not a muffin pan, but like a cake pan.
Like a casserole.
Yeah, like a casserole, and I mixed them all, and I put it in the oven. Yeah. And then I thought if I put ketchup on it, it would be good.
How hard is dieting for you?
I like to experiment with different things, guy. Anybody else before we go to the next question? Mike, you ever have trouble dieting?
No, I've been pretty good.
When you were a professional bodybuilder, were you like Iain? You had no trouble. I mean, I was like you when I was prepping, but like, did you ever try and create different things, or were you just like, I'm going to eat my chicken and rice, I don't care about anything else?
No, I just had an unhealthy obsession with gum. Like,
Oh,
very
really?
unhealthy.
Like what, a pack or two a day kind of thing?
Like the pack that fits in your cup holder. I just dump that in my mouth at once.
Really?
And I just spit it out the window as I'm driving.
Oh, so you would just
Like
you
chew a bunch and then spit them because I feel bad and put fresh ones in. Fuck.
so you're getting
It wasn't healthy.
so you're getting like 400 calories a day just in gum.
Sugar alcohol.
Yeah.
Melissa, you're a foodie. Anything wild?
Not wild, but I used to I would have sweet potato and I would make brownies with them. Like I went crazy, you know what I mean?
Brownies with sweet
Or like
potatoes.
Courtney and I have made rice and egg white pancakes. So you like blend cooked rice with egg whites and then fry
Yeah.
it, and it's actually delicious.
I could try that.
Yeah, it's not weird what I would do, but I mean, I for sure would take the little food I had and
Well, not everything-
make it taste well or taste good. Yeah.
Not everything I did was weird. I used to do, like I'd bake my chicken or grill my chicken, and then I would do mustard, and I would put Splenda in my mustard, so I kind of had like a honey mustard with my chicken.
I still do that. I mean, I make my own salad dressing to this day because like I don't.
Do you?
No.
What do you do? Like olive oil, vinegar?
No, I do honey mustard, coconut aminos, and apple cider vinegar. and it's delicious. And I know exactly what I'm eating, you know what I mean? And it's like no
Have you
calories.
thought about doing a cookbook?
Yeah, I've thought about it. I mean, Courtney was going to, and then nothing ever came of it, but she's the one that has all the
Does she?
really good tasting, healthy recipes.
Recipes and stuff?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Ian, I'm not going to ask you. Paul?
I gave you my one already.
Anything, you ever make anything interesting? Or
Early on when
Tell them about your cheat meal. You know the one.
bread and cheese.
Tell them.
I don't do that anymore.
Because it's just sloppy.
I don't
but
do it
it's-
anymore.
It doesn't matter.
I know you don't do
It
it
was
anymore, but you
basically,
did it.
I would call it a grilled cheese peel. You make a stack of grilled cheeses, basically. They just
A
peel
grilled
one layer
cheese
off
peel.
at a time and eat them.
Tell it.
I used to do that a long time
Tell
ago.
them step by step how you
I would
prepare.
stack up like half a loaf of bread or whatever, and sometimes I would toast, sometimes I wouldn't. I just put a slice of cheese between each slice, melt them all, and then just strip them off.
Does that sound appetizing to you now?
No, it sounds
Oh my
disgusting
God, it
now.
sounds delicious to me.
I'm just checking.
Yeah, no, I'm 3 weeks out. That sounds fucking awesome to me.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. How does that not sound delicious? It's grilled cheese.
I mean, is it?
Well,
Sometimes he toasts the bread, sometimes he doesn't. Like, what?
Yeah, this is a long time ago. This is
sometimes
when I was,
just cheese and bread.
yeah,
That's disgusting.
yeah.
Plain bread and cheese.
Yeah.
This is when I was really young, though, and I don't know. I used to be a lot more disciplined than I am now. So I would diet really hard, and then I would I'd want to cheat, but back then I wouldn't go to the fast food restaurant. I would just make it at home.
Well,
So you
no,
thought
I-
300
So
grams
it's
of just fat was okay?
Sorry.
You just thought 300 grams of fat and carbs was okay?
Yeah.
Come
Fake
on,
cheese,
man.
yeah.
You guys, I can't. Why are you guys always so
If I'm
perfect?
gonna have that much bread and
It's such
cheese,
a
I'm gonna order a
delicious- think
fucking
about-
pizza,
think
not
about-
stack it up in the
No,
in the pan.
you get really
Like
weird
that-
cravings
I'm not
when,
eating this.
when you
But
diet for a long time.
think about the.
It's like a Section 8 pizza.
Listen to me. Think about how deprived you have to be like, you know what? I'm gonna I'm gonna toast this entire loaf of bread, and I'm gonna put one slice of cheese in between each slice until it's all melted, and then I'm gonna peel them off one by one and eat the whole bag.
You know who thinks like that?
It's incredible.
Serial killers.
No, I think it's.
Hungry
I think it's a
bodybuilders.
good illustration.
You know what
of
I think of? You know what, guy? If you take the big piece of bread, we put cheese on it with some tomato sauce, and you slide it into a brick oven, and you pull it out, and guess what you got? A pizza. And you know what I did? I didn't do a fucking thing in my house.
Paul, he doesn't appreciate it. I appreciate your
I know you would, Fouad. This is back when I was like 20, though.
Your
Now I'd
cheese
order
tower?
pizza. Yeah. Tower. Yeah, that's what it is, basically.
Cheese
a tower
tower?
of cheese, yeah.
cheese tower. That's
Yeah.
what we should call it.
Yeah. Sometimes you have ketchup to dip it in.
Oh, God, that's even worse. You just killed the whole thing now. Dip it
Is there
in.
any other questions, guys? Right here up front.
This might sound like a dumb question maybe, but Guy, I know you're obviously a big 212 guy. I was wondering why 212 would be a weight cap and not just a height cap if it's made for the shorter guys.
I agree with you. I have no idea.
Great question.
That's a great question.
Yeah, but Guy agrees with that.
Yeah. I mean, like
He would be fine with a height cap.
Like most guys in the 212 are about five. No,
Five.
but usually about 5'6" and below. Because like I was 5'5.5".
Yeah, but
Flex-
wait a minute. That kind of kills your argument because Nick Walker's like 5'6".
No,
You can just do the open.
5'7".
Huh?
Nick's 5'7".
Yeah, but okay, Derek Lunsford's 5'6".
So 5'5".
That's what I'm saying. Like you'd have to make it low enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I agree. I mean, it's just like the guys that are shorter don't have there's not a lot of guys that are like a Derek that are that short and that have clavicles that wide. Like, Sean is impressive, but he's not super wide.
Weird.
Right? And
The
that's
whole
why-
top 3 at the Olympia was guys that were 5'6" or shorter.
Huh? Yeah, but they're wide. They're wide. They have wide clavicles. Hottie has wide clavicles. Derek has wide clavicles. Nick has wide clavicles. Not a lot of shorter bodybuilders have wide clavicles like that. So that's
Should make
where,
it a clavicle width cutoff then.
Stop. It's not the
40-inch shoulders or
This
less.
is not the venue for a 45-minute argument.
well,
don't.
it's
Leave
where
it.
it was how you fill out the frame. though.
Leave it.
I agreed with them.
Okay. One suggestion for the gentleman that just asked the question, and I hate to put you on the spot, but Melissa corrected me earlier because you were in the hostile room asking for advice, kind of. And I don't know if I approached it properly, but Melissa said to me, you should have told him to be more open to taking advice. Because I didn't. I was trying to give you advice, but I wasn't getting through to you. So in the future, if you're asking somebody who's like been there, done that, you know, me, Ian, Guy, Paul, whoever, Mike, maybe try and take a minute to consider what they're saying before you say, I can't or I don't think. Cool? Cool. Ryan, you had another question in the middle there?
I wanted to ask, what's the most amount of food you ate after a show, and then what was it?
This is all me, baby. Yeah. I put on, after my first show, my first show ever, yeah, the first show is always the worst. My first show, I put on 50 pounds the first week after my show.
I did 30 in 3 days after my first show.
Yeah, that's like the same. Yeah.
I ate like Burger King and McDonald's 6 meals a day for almost a week straight.
Can I tell you how disgusting, this is how disgusting I was. It was like a pregnant woman. I was like, I remember at one point, I think 1 or 2 days after the show, looking at the coffee table, and there was like a bag of chips, a shrimp ring, a brick of cheese, and some ice cream. And I literally looked at him like, what the fuck am I doing? And it didn't matter. I was just sampling from like each, it got really out of control. But as the shows went on, you start to learn that you are going to be allowed to eat again, and you can like not destroy your health in 3 days. So, I mean, look, honestly, not to get serious at a funny moment, but like probably the most damage you will ever do health-wise is within that 1 week range before and after a show. Because before a show, you could be extremely dehydrated. More so after the show when you are still dehydrated and you start shoving a bunch of pizza and salt and all this stuff down your throat and your body's not really prepared for it, that could probably wreak havoc on your health. So after the show tonight, guys, those of you who are here competing, try and take it easy a little bit for the first week after until you kind of start to acclimate back to normal. Anybody else? Any crazy post-show? Mike, you're a big eater.
I can match Ian's 30 pounds in like 3 days.
You matched the 30 pounds? Yeah, mine was like 30 pounds in 3 days, but I just counted the whole week. I just kept going.
Yeah. Well, mine was predominantly donuts and pizza.
You're what?
Donuts and pizza, completely.
Donuts and pizza, that's it?
Nothing else.
I like justified mine the first few days, like, because I start to look good, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I
how
look
I did.
big and full. I'm like, fuck yeah, this is it. Like, I'm making progress. And then by like 7-10 days, it started to just look like mush, and I had like gout in my ankles and shit. And I was like, this was a mistake, you know?
After my first show, I actually looked like I didn't compete the next day. It was that bad.
Yeah.
Like not a line on me.
Oh, you didn't get any like of the benefit. You just got fat right away.
Because the
Watery.
only thing that was open, because it was in West Virginia, was McDonald's.
Perfect.
But I blew. In fact, when I dieted back then, it was very different. So I blew the fuck up. Like I think it was about 20 pounds in that night.
Did you do heavy diuretics? Is that why?
No, believe it or not, I did none.
Yeah, it's weird. If you did none.
None, and I blew
less.
up. I actually have a picture because it was my grandfather's surprise 70th birthday the next day, and I looked like I never even fucking stepped on stage. I was that disgusting.
Melissa, I know it's harder for women, the fluctuation with weight and diet and like rebounding and all that. Did you ever have like a crazy rebound, or you try and stay pretty cautious post-show?
Okay, so my issue when I competed was my cheat meals. I would go crazy because I knew I only had one night and then it was back on diet.
Jeez. We're seeing eye to eye here.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was one all-you-can-eat sushi that I couldn't even stand up straight. I got out of the booth and I was like walking out because my stomach was so much pain. And then after the Arnold in 2019, I rebounded, I mean, I don't even know how many, 60 pounds. But that was over a long period of time, and it was because I was probably in a very deep depression.
Can I ask you about your binges? Do you ever eat so much that you find if you like lay on your side, you can keep eating?
Wait, so you eat laying down?
So I'll start seated, but like as I get more and more
hard
full,
to breathe, so you lay
I kind of like lean over a little bit, and then I'm like more comfortable, so I can like.
I gotta get Summer's number to be like, hey, can you text me these photos?
Listen, I love food, man. I can't. It's my upbringing. It's the
eat on your side?
the Arab. There's always food in the fridge. You know, my mom would make dinner, and we would eat dinner, and then I would come back 2 hours later because when my mom made dinner, it was for 5, like me and 4 other siblings. It was just mass amounts of food in the house at all times. So you'd come back at you'd eat dinner at 6, you'd go hang out with your friends, you'd come back at 10 o'clock, and it'd be time for bed, and I'd be like, I'm hungry. My mom would be like, go make a plate. So I'd go to the fridge and make a massive plate, just like dinner again, and I'd have another dinner.
That's just culture.
There was just always food. And me and Paul talked about this, any main events or any type of events at our house always had to do with food. So it just carried over. Hey, how do you guys have you guys heard of the Meatballs and Hummus podcast?
What?
Don't bite.
No. Have you heard of the Meatballs and Hummus?
No.
You don't know about it?
No.
You don't know about Meatballs and Hummus? Who knows about Meatballs and Hummus? There you go. You for real don't know?
I've heard you mention it, but I don't know what it is.
It's RBP
So
after hours.
after you guys,
RBP after hours.
You guys were talking about this after the show.
after
yeah.
you guys leave, me and Paul hang out and we keep talking.
Last time Fouad was like, remember last time Fouad was like, I thought they would never leave.
So we decided to call that portion of the show Meatballs and Hummus.
Good name.
That's
Right?
cute.
Yeah. So you guys like the Meatballs and Hummus portion. All right, sweet. I wouldn't listen. I don't want to do it, just me and him, but you guys always have to go. So you're in a rush to leave. So I'm like, we'll just stay and talk for 20 minutes.
Nice conversations, Fouad.
Yeah, nice conversation. It's always a nice
You guys
conversation.
hang out all day.
Yeah, but
We spent a different amount of time together.
So you're agreeing with me.
Yeah, I am
So
agreeing with you.
the
are you
point
jealous?
is that you guys still have that much shit to talk about
Yeah,
after
okay.
being together all fucking day?
There's always something to discuss with Fouad and I.
Yeah, your bullshit, your lies, weeding through the bullshit.
I think, Guy, you seem jealous. I still love you. Don't worry. You can come on. You can come on. We'll call it. You're part of the meatballs. You're
Yeah.
Italian. You can be part of the meatballs.
Spaghetti, meatballs, and hummus. That's what
Spaghetti,
we'll call it.
meatballs,
How
and
does that
hummus.
even go together?
But you're both Italian. He's Arabic.
Yeah, but where does the hummus
It's not
come
about
into
it going
play?
together, retard. I'm Arab, so it's
Don't
hummus.
use the R word.
Oh, sorry. I'm hummus.
Who are you saying sorry to?
The crowd.
Oh.
Because Fouad would always make fun of Italian food, because I'm Italian. He'd say it's all like the same shit,
It is
but
all
with
the
different
same shit.
shaped noodles.
I'm sorry if there's any Italians in the audience, but it's just one fucking noodle, and they make it a bunch of different shapes. It's not.
It's the way it holds the sauce.
It's not
Fouad.
different. Spaghetti and fettuccine
But
and
Fouad
linguine is
somehow-
all the same.
Gnocchi,
It's all the same.
pizza.
That's not a noodle.
So you're naming one food group out of
Listen, you took one noodle and you shaped it 9 different ways.
You
You're
guys
like,
took beans and mashed it up and said, look what I
Exactly,
did.
guy. Exactly,
beans.
guy.
It's
They
different
take-
beans, though.
You fucking do. It's different noodles.
No,
Shut up.
it's the same noodle.
No.
It's the same ingredients.
Gnocchi is not the same noodle.
Gnocchi's, it's not a noodle.
It's we still consider it a
No, it's
pasta.
stuffed.
It's still a fucking bean.
It's not stuffed.
Hummus.
Like manicotti.
It's a potato.
It's a bean.
Gnocchi's not a bean.
Hummus is.
Chickpeas.
What are you talking? Okay.
Chickpeas.
Let's start over.
Still a bean, kind of.
Let's start over. Penne, spaghetti, fettuccine, linguine, tortellini. What is the fucking?
What do you? Is
what
this a Forrest Gump episode?
What is the difference, other than the shape?
Those?
Yes.
Nothing.
Okay, that's it. I rest my case. Okay.
Wait, what
Next
does that have to do
question.
with this? What does that do?
Gnocchi.
Okay, flavors of hummus.
There's only one.
Not in my stores. There's a lot of hummus. They're flavors.
No, but there's.
It's all just
We don't
crushed
make a
beans.
different dish out of just a mashed
No, you
chickpea.
Okay.
It's just a.
But you
we don't call it different things. It's
Well, there's-
hummus with red pepper. It's
there's-
not called something totally different.
the name just is defined by the shape
But that's ridiculous.
because you didn't think of it.
No, because it doesn't taste any different. Why just make one noodle?
Because then everybody would think it's the same thing.
It is the same thing.
But the noodle's different because it's got different textures.
It's the same taste.
a different texture.
It's
when you
made
cook
from the
it.
same ingredients.
Different texture.
You're making no sense.
Does toasted rye bread and toasted white bread, does it have the same texture?
They're different ingredients.
But it's still bread.
It's not. It's different ingredient bread.
If you look on the back of all bread,
Okay.
it says
Wait.
flour
If
or
I
whole white
eat,
wheat
if I
flour.
eat, if I eat whole wheat spaghetti or white spaghetti, it's 2 different things. That's whole wheat bread and white bread. You're not saying. You're saying something different.
Spaghetti is talking about the fucking the
Okay,
look
let's
of
move
the
on.
pasta.
The
Sorry,
shape of
guys.
the noodle.
Yeah, it's the shape
The
of the
shape
noodle.
of how it holds the
Yes.
sauce.
All right,
Yeah,
we're
I
gonna
get
take
it.
we're gonna take one more question. We'll take 1 or 2 more questions. Anybody else? Yes.
Is that Paul's Coke Zero on the table there?
Yes, it is.
If you had a workout earlier today, would you drink a regular Coke instead?
Post-workout, I absolutely would, yes.
Post-workout Coke.
Because at that point, my body could use those sugars.
just to justify the sugar content.
Great question. Okay.
We can do one more.
Anybody else? Last one.
Make it good. Last one, and not a good one.
There's a lot of like talent in coaching right now with Jansen and Ben and Sarchev and all those guys. And I was just wondering, who do you think the most accomplished like modern coach is?
Hani.
There's no doubt.
No doubt. Not even a comparison.
Hani has 22 Mr. Olympias under his belt. Hani has also...
That's 22 Mr. Olympias holding a roster of like 10 or less at all times, too.
Yeah.
It's not like he has a roster of 100 people, you know.
And Hani has shown the greatest looks. Some, other than Ronnie Coleman, probably the greatest looks we've ever seen on stage. Because if you look at the best Jay, that was with Hani. If you look at Phil, if you look at Chris, if you look at what's the female figure competitor that the blonde hair, Nicole Wilkins,
Jeremy
Buendia, like the list goes on and on and on. And he has a different way about him than other coaches.
He just has the ability to peak guys that is just at a very different level. I mean, if you look at the peaks of Phil or these guys that cement hard, crisp look, it's, you know, guys can make bits of both, but nobody can quite pull it together like he.
We saw with Christopher this year a massive change in the way he looked, and in terms of what Hani did differently, it was very minute, and it honestly came down to the last week. But I also think Hani has a very special ability to mentally dial people in, and that is not something that I've seen in any other coach. And I mean, my brother is a very mentally strong, stable man. Like there's no, you wouldn't even say that he needed help with the mental aspect, but I would say with Hani, what he did with Christopher was 80% mentality.
Listen, I for what it's worth, I worked with like 5 different coaches, and they were all at the top. And Hani was, you know, me and John were very good friends, and it was like mentor and, you know, student and pupil and all that, and we, you know, I won a couple shows with him, but Hani's coaching alone was another level from any other coach I worked with. Now, in saying that, though, you have to remember your question's kind of loaded because, you know, me and Iain have discussed this before. Even though Hani is the best, we also always say that the coach and the client relationship is what really makes the dynamic. It just so happens that Hani is very good at picking people to work with that he gets along with.
Yeah, and then knowing how to get the most out of them.
No, but
in
he
all
doesn't.
Aspects.
But Hani is very selective, especially in the last half of his career. He's not only selective in finding people with good genetics and all that. He's also very selective in finding coachable people that will listen and take his mental advice, take his physical. Like, he won't work if he's told me before. He's given me examples, and I won't name them, but he's told me before I wanted to work with that person, but we just couldn't see eye to eye in certain aspects. So I knew he wasn't going to be the right person for me. So even though we're saying Hani's the best coach, you also have to remember that a different coach could be the best for a different person. It all depends on the relationship they have.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would say also, most of the coaching, though, you would disagree. I think most coaches can get you in shape. It's the final details of the last week to the last day which is the biggest difference, I think, in a lot of the coaching is what they do at the end of the prep.
Yeah,
it's not hard. It's not hard to get in shape for a bodybuilding show. It's the final detailing that's the bitch, because that's where the most like.
I think it's.
I don't think I agree with that.
I think 99% of coaches
I think it actually
can
comes
get
down
people from point A to point B. It's getting them from B to C, which is the hard part.
I think it's problem-solving skills is what it is, honestly.
At
I think
the
it's
end.
yes. So. All the time, you know. I think it's, you know, and I mean, I know from talking to Hani, you know, with guys with Derek and other guys that, you know, even top guys can fall off the rails sometimes, you know, and a guy like that can, you know, problem solve not just from seeing a set of pictures or video and knowing exactly what's wrong or what needs to be adjusted in that, but also, you know, how to communicate to make them tick. And I think, you problem-solving abilities is definitely one of the more defining things of a coach, like not panicking under the pressure, or, if it's a scenario that you see that maybe you're not accustomed to, that you can keep a cool head and kind of look at the data of what you've accrued together and be like, okay, we've done this, it's rendered this look, what can we, what could have led to where we are, and how can we get out of this situation or improve this situation? I think problem-solving ability is definitely what I've noticed is definitely the separating thing with high-tier coaches.
Yeah, and to my point, the problem solving, where you said not to get nervous and panic, that comes at the end of the prep.
Sure.
Because
But it can also come in 7 weeks out.
Something's not right, you're not going to panic about it.
Guy, wait a minute. You're like 80% right. The last week is definitely the hardest part. But I think when you're talking about guys who weigh 280, 290, 260 pounds, what happens at 10 weeks out can affect how you look 1 week out. Or all through the prep. So my point I'm trying to make is it's not necessarily an X's and O's point. It's more to Melissa's point about when Hani's dealing with these people's lives, because that's what he does the best. Yeah. What's going on in your life? What's going on with your contract? What's going on with your wife? What's going on with, how is everything? When he's dealing with these things, it keeps him in the proper mental state through the earlier weeks, so that the last week he has
so the
a
answer
really
would be
good
he's
product.
more like a life coach, not just a bodybuilding.
He's everything. He's a coach.
I would say that's the biggest thing.
When you extrapolate this outwards and you look at top coaches in any profession, you look at the best coaches in football, track and field, hockey, whatever. I mean, they're not just a coach when they're on the field or on the ice.
X's and O's, yeah.
They know these guys' lives. They know, how you coach me and how you might coach Fouad. One guy might want the tough love and be looked at and be like, yo, you look like a fucking sack of shit, pick it up. Or, Dennis Wolf's going to fucking whoop your ass on stage. And some guys might be like, hey, things are good, but we need to pick up the pace. Like, there's different ways to motivate guys. And I think, knowing how guys tick and getting the most out of them is crucial for sure.
And for those of you out there who want to be coaches, and this is a mistake I made, or not a mistake, but something I became very aware of in my early coaching career, if you're not planning on giving your clients more than just the X's and O's, you're probably not going to ascend to the highest levels of coaching. Because any coaches I know, like Matt, Ben is on his way to becoming a very successful coach in the higher ranks. Hani, John was like this also. They're very involved in more than just eat this, train this. So if you are looking to be a coach and be successful, you have to take that into consideration, that your clients do need your time and they do want you to care.
Yeah.
Anything else, guys? Anybody want to say anything before we go?
I'll say something. I just, being the new guy here, I'm kind of like people in this audience where I was on looking for this podcast for a long time and seeing what you guys are doing. So I'm very grateful to be a part of this group, and I've never had a public forum to say it, but I'm grateful, even if Guy's here.
We're grateful to have you. Fuck Guy.
But I've told Fouad this in the past. I think he really downplays the importance and the significance of what he's created here, and we've talked about that. But you really need to give yourself a pat on the back, man, because it means something. You know what I mean?
Thank you, man.
Absolutely.
In saying that, I have to say Mike has been the most welcome addition. He said earlier, I thought this guy hated me. I would show up at Pure and I would see him and he'd be like, just look at him. So when he came on the podcast the first time, and Paul thought the same thing.
I was afraid of Mike.
Paul was
very afraid of Mike. But
shockingly surprised at the.
It scared me.
My biggest surprise when you told me that you're a Will Ferrell fan. I did not picture you as Will Ferrell was your favorite actor. I could not. Is he here? No. I wish he was. I'm a big fan myself. But when you told me he was your favorite actor, you love his movies, I was blown away. I never expected that out of you.
Anyway, you've been an awesome addition, man. We have a lot of good laughs and shit.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of fun. So, thank you for doing it. Anybody else? Guy, you want to say anything?
You want
to plug your Uprising Extracts mogul? Check out Uprising Extracts.
Did you say mobile?
Mogul.
It's mogul.
You don't know what a mogul is?
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You make fun of Paul all the time. You don't even know what a
That's weird.
You don't know what a mogul is?
What does that have to do with my company?
He
thinks it's those little jumps in skiing,
You're like an extract boss.
You're the boss, dude.
Yeah.
You're the cream of the crop.
Yeah, I thought you were trying to give the fucking website. I was like, it's not mogul.com. I was trying.
check out Guy's company, Uprising Extracts. Paul is one of our amazing judges. Ian's competing in 3 weeks. Melissa, I know this wasn't, I know this was a little more difficult for you being on stage, but thank you for doing this with us. We love having you.
I like being here. Thank
Good.
you for having me.
Good. Guys, thank you very much. We're going to be back at 5 o'clock for finals. We appreciate you guys coming to the show.